Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Monday, May 11th, 2026. The Sheriff's Department 2-week enforcement period focused on child sex abuse led to more than 100 arrests, including several in the Morongo Basin. Between April 19th and May 2nd, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department conducted Operation Firewall, which they describe as a concentrated enforcement period, identifying and arresting suspects who exploited children through the internet. The Sheriff's Department says they arrested 101 suspects across the county and rescued 16 children who are believed to be victims of abuse. The operation was supported by 15 patrol stations across the country. Several arrests were made in the Morongo Basin as part of Operation Firewall. On April 29th, deputies contacted Brendan Crow, 24, at a home in the 6000 block of Abronia Avenue in 29 Palms. Deputies say that Crow was suspected to be in possession of child sex abuse material, and they had a warrant for his arrest. Crow was taken into custody without incident. The Sheriff's Department said that the investigation was confidential and declined to provide further details. Brendan Crow was arrested on suspicion of possessing obscene material featuring a minor and violating the terms of his parole. Crow pled guilty to possession of child sex abuse material in 2020. He is being held at the West Valley Detention Center without bail. As previously reported by Z107.7, deputies assigned to Yucca Valley arrested Indio resident Jason Mendoza Jr., 23, for charges related to the rape of a minor. The Sheriff's Department confirmed that this arrest was also part of Operation Firewall. Jason Mendoza Jr. was arrested on suspicion of numerous child sexual abuse charges between 2021 and 2025. Rattlesnakes are out, and renowned snake wrangler Danielle Wall has tips on how to stay safe. She's bringing those to the meeting of the Landers Homestead Valley Association later today. Annalise Kuiper has the buzz.
Rattlesnake wrangler Danielle Wall will be at the Landers Homestead Valley Association meeting on Monday, May 11, with more information on what to do in the event of a rattlesnake encounter and, perhaps more importantly, what not to do. The plan to save Landers Elementary School from closure will be outlined at this Landers Association meeting. For more information and to get involved, be sure to attend the Enrollment Committee meeting on Thursday, May 14 at 6 p.m., which takes place at 6061 Sunburst Avenue, Joshua Tree. May 14, 2026 is also the last day to send public comments to the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors regarding the proposed property tax increase for Landers Special District's road maintenance. To reach all the county supervisors at once, send an email to boardmeetingcomments@cob.sbcounty.gov. The Landers Homestead Valley Association meeting will take place at Belfield Hall, 58380 Ricci Road in Landers, and begins at 5 p.m. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Annalise Kuiper.
The Joshua Basin Water District Board of Directors is holding a special session meeting this afternoon. Their agenda includes a public servant appreciation for District General Manager Sarah Johnson, followed by a presentation from Johnson on the district's annual business plan. The board will then hold a workshop on their revised operating budget for the current and coming fiscal years. The Joshua Basin Water District Board of Directors meets in special session today at 1 p.m. at their office at 61750 Choita Road in Joshua Tree. You can find a link to their agenda at this story at Z107.7fm.com. The Western Joshua Tree Conservation Act has gone through some legislative changes in the 3 years since its adoption, and the Yucca Valley Town Council received some updates on the law during last week's meeting. Online news editor Robert Hayden has more.
If you have a Western Joshua tree on your property, and in the town of Yucca Valley, that's going to be most property owners, its existence could create some headaches if you want to do any construction or improvements near the threatened species. The California Department of Fish and Wildlife, or CDFW, is in charge of issuing take permits for work that could potentially impact the tree, and that could cost property owners hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on the work and the amount of trees possibly impacted. Town Manager Curtis Yakima led a presentation at the last Yucca Valley Town Council meeting on some potential changes to the Western Joshua Tree Conservation Act. First up, Senator Ochoa Bogue's legislative package of state bills 1061 through 1063. Those bills address the definition of a take, which is the term that the CDFW used when issuing permits regarding plants or animals. The bills provide specific take permits for life-sustaining projects and expedited permitting for fee-free utility or wildlife hardening projects. Only bills 1061 and 1062 moved forward. Assemblymember Greg Wallace introduced AB 1663, which allows for take permits to be issued without fees for dead western Joshua trees and allows permits for western Joshua trees to be trimmed or removed for infrastructure changes, such as creating defensible space around your home for wildfire mitigation. And Assemblymember Juan Carrillo has introduced AB 1808, which amends the Act, expanding the delegate authority for industrial commercial projects and expanding the permitted authority for single-family homeowners and public works under certain conditions. Yakima said that the town is keeping track of these assembly bills as they move through the legislative process and will offer letters of support when the process allows. He also offered a reminder that the Western Joshua Tree Conservation Act is a law, meaning that the CDFW is in charge of implementing the law and can't create changes or dispensations for town governments. State Assemblymember Chad Mays joined the town council remotely to explain how those bills will move through the assembly. Mays grew up in Yucca Valley and previously served on the town council.
The process matters. We have 4 live bills, and more than likely, each one of those 4 bills will still be amended. And one of the things that you learn in Sacramento, and I certainly did when I was a legislator, is even though you are the author of a bill, you're not the only one that gets to decide what's in that bill. There's all sorts of stakeholders, there's committee consultants, there's chairs of committees, there's leadership, there's the governor's office. And so, as the town manager had said, we are still pretty early in the process.
Town Manager Curtis Yakima also spoke of a grassroots group of citizens in Yucca Valley who are keeping tabs on the Western Joshua Tree Conservation Act and its impacts on property owners. They meet frequently and have a website with more information on the bills as well as stories from locals who have been impacted. You can find that all at westernjoshuatrees.com. We'll have links and more information on our website, Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
The town of Yucca Valley wants to show off the work of a local artist for a little longer and have extended the duration of a highly visible public arts program. The town invites artists to submit artwork for a new temporary public art installation at the prominent southwest corner of 29 Palms Highway and Old Woman Springs Road, right in front of the Yucca Valley Branch Library property. Previous calls for art at this space have had a shorter display period, just shy of a year. Work from local artists Gubby Beck and Chad Lefevre was on display for approximately 1 year each, but the next piece chosen will be on display for nearly 3 years. In recognition of this longer term, the selected artist or artist team will receive a $4,500 stipend for the temporary installation of the artwork. Clayton Rardin from Yucca Valley's Parks and Recreation Department explained the change at a recent town council meeting.
We've got $4,500 for the Yucca Valley Branch Library art installation. A little change over previous years. So we've had some smaller installations that don't have as much volume. Really, really cool, really interesting artists that submitted all sorts of different things. The comments at the PRCC, the comments from this council have been, although they liked them, they wanted something that was larger, more visible, more volume, more mass for such a high-profile location in town.
The town is seeking a striking, imaginative, large, and high-visibility submission that will remain on display for an extended 3-year period from 2026 through 2028. Submissions should be original, weather-resistant, and suitable for viewing by all ages. Because of the location's scale and prominence, artists are encouraged to consider how their work will be experienced not only up close, but also from a distance by traffic as well as visitors to nearby businesses. Submissions must be received by June 29th. You can find submission guidelines and the application at yucca-valley.org/public art, or you can email publicart@yucca-valley.org. And finally, Grub Steak Days is coming to the High Desert on Memorial Day weekend. It's the 75th year for the annual event, and today is the final day to register for one of the events. The tug-of-war contest, in which teams of up to 10 people compete to yank rope harder than the other team, is happening on May 23rd. You can register through the end of today. You can find a link for your team to apply at yuccavalley.org. Registration for the tug-of-war is $75 per team. Other events happening at Grubstake Days include a horseshoe contest, beard contest, and the Little Miss and Minor pageants. Registration remains open for those contests. Grubstake Days is happening May 21st through May 24th and will also feature cookouts, breakfasts, live music, dancing, and a carnival. You can visit yuccavalley.org for more information. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z1077 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmatz.